Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're handing you the keys to the director's chair. We're going to break down how AI is completely flipping the script on anime production, making it possible for anyone, yeah, that means you, to bring your very own stories to life. It really wasn't that long ago that making even a short animated film was, well, a massive undertaking. We're talking about needing a whole studio, a huge team of artists grinding away for months, and a budget that would make your eyes water. It was a world that felt pretty much locked for independent creators. But today, that's all changing. Seriously, thanks to some incredibly powerful AI tools, the whole shebang, the entire animation pipeline, can now be run by just one person. One person with a strong vision. The power has literally shifted from the massive studio to, well, to the individual. So that's the big question, right? What if that director was you? Because that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to walk through the whole process, step by step, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a polished, finished film. And it all starts with the most important piece of the puzzle, the story. Okay, first up, the spark. This is all about crafting that perfect 60-second story. Look, every great film begins with a great story. It's your absolute foundation as the director. So let's figure out how to build a powerful one, especially when you've only got a minute. So here's the challenge, right? How in the world do you tell a complete, emotional love story in just 60 seconds? You don't have hours to build character arcs and complex plot lines, so you have to be really, really smart about your storytelling. Lucky for us, there are some proven models that can help. All right, so think of this as your playbook. These are powerful storytelling blueprints you can just pick up and use. For example, a quick arc could show a character's entire journey of falling in love, but condensed into just a few perfect scenes. Or The Duel, a classic rivals to lovers trope. And of course, there's always the twist, where you pull the rug out from under the audience with a surprise connection they never, ever saw coming. Now, this is so important for short films. Visual storytelling is everything. You can lean on these really powerful universal cultural symbols, like the red string of fate. Just by showing that, you can communicate huge ideas, predestined love, an unbreakable bond, without anyone saying a single word. It's an incredible shortcut to adding serious depth and meaning to your story. Okay, section 2, the look. Time to define your visual style. So you've got your story locked in. Now we've got to build the world it lives in. And the visual style is everything. It sets the tone, the mood, basically how your entire film feels. Let's check out some options. So let's look at two super popular styles for romance anime. On one hand, you've got cell shading. Think bold outlines and flat colors. It's got this awesome high energy, perfect for romantic comedies. You tell the AI things like bold outlines to get this. Then you have the watercolor style. It's all soft transitions, much more fluid and emotional, perfect for those nostalgic, heartfelt stories. For that, you'd use prompts like soft gradients or dreamy atmosphere. And let's talk color, because it's a huge storytelling tool. A really simple trick is the 60-30-10 rule. It's just a way to keep your color palette balanced and looking really good. So 60% is your main dominant color, 30% is your secondary, and that last 10%, that's your accent color. So in a romantic scene, maybe your dominant color is a soft pink, your secondary is a warm yellow, and that 10% accent is a pop of vibrant red to really sell the passion. All right, section 3, the assets. This is where we start generating art with AI. Okay, now for the really fun part, actually bringing your world and your characters to life. With AI image generators, you can create absolutely stunning visuals for your film. And all it takes is a few well-crafted prompts. Let's look at some of the best tools out there. Okay, these are basically your heavy hitters for AI anime art. Think of Midjourney's Niji mode as your cinematographer. It's fantastic for those high-quality cinematic shots. Stable Diffusion, that's your detail-oriented artist. It gives you a ton of control, perfect for when you need to create very specific things. And GetImage.ai is like your giant sketchbook. It's got a massive variety of models, so it's amazing for just playing around and experimenting to find the perfect look. Moving on to section 4, the movement. This is all about animating with consistency. And let's be real, this is probably one of the biggest headaches in AI animation, keeping your character looking like the same person from one shot to the next. It's so frustrating when their face or clothes just randomly change with a new prompt. But don't worry, there's absolutely a fix for this. So the solution is something called a character DNA prompt. Think of it like a casting sheet you give to the AI. It's a super detailed description of your character that you literally copy and paste into every single prompt. So you define key things like their face, their hair, their outfit, even their general vibe. The more specific you are, the more you lock in that identity and the more consistent your character will be. Okay, I know this workflow might look a little technical, but trust me, it's not as scary as it looks. Think of it like a recipe. First, you write that detailed character DNA prompt we just talked about. Second, you train a mini AI model called Allura using a bunch of images of your character. This basically teaches the AI, hey, this is what my character looks like. Then you use tools like an IP adapter and control net to guide the AI even more, locking in specific poses and details. It's a combo that gives you a ton of control. And now for Section 5, the soundscape. Let's engineer the perfect sound. We've spent all this time on the visuals, but you cannot forget about sound. In anime, especially, sound is absolutely crucial for creating atmosphere and emotion. So let's talk about how to build a soundscape that really pulls the viewer in. Okay, think about these sounds. They're not just random background noise, right? They're total emotional triggers. That specific chirp of summer cicadas, that instantly makes you feel nostalgic, maybe a little melancholic. The warning bells of a train crossing can build this sense of anticipation or maybe fate. These iconic sounds are a huge part of what makes anime feel like anime. And what about dialogue? Well, AI has that covered too. Voice generators have gotten so good. I'm talking tools that can deliver genuinely expressive, emotional performances. They can capture all those little quirks, the pitch shifts, the dramatic pauses that you'd expect from a professional voice actor. You can literally bring your script to life with incredibly high-quality voices. Okay, last section, the big picture. Let's talk about this new creative paradigm. So we've gone all the way from the first spark of a story to the final sound design. And as you can probably tell, AI is completely changing the game here. It's touching every single part of the process and making it possible for individual creators to finally tell their story. But here's the most important thing to remember through all of this. At the end of the day, AI is just a tool. Yeah, it's an incredibly powerful one that makes things way more efficient, but the real magic, the emotional core of the story, that still comes from you. It comes from the human director, your vision, your creativity, your passion. That's the part the AI can't do. So, all the tools are right there, ready for you to use. The power to create is literally in your hands, which really just leaves one question. What story are you going to tell?